Coming up on the WAC Basketball Podcast. It's the best week of the year. It is WAC Vegas. At the end of this week, one men's team and one women's team are headed to the big dance. This week's guest is Brandi Poole. She's our analyst for the women's basketball portion of the tournament. She's been with us for a couple years. She's seen these teams from top to bottom over the course of the last couple years. She breaks down all of the teams heading in, what she likes about each of the squads, and maybe she'll give you a sleeper pick of who is taking home that tournament title. That's all ahead on the WAC Basketball Podcast. We now welcome in Brandi Poole, who will be on site in WAC Vegas. She'll be our analyst for the women's basketball tournament. We're so excited. It's officially the best week of the year. We get to crown a tournament champion at the end of this week. One team is going dancing. And the last week of the regular season was crazy. A lot of close games. You had California Baptist and Abilene Christian matchup, the 1 and 2 seeds. The Lancers secure the regular season. They earned the number 1 seed. They got their third regular season title in the last 6 years. What are you seeing from Jared Olson's squad that gives you confidence that they could walk away with another NCAA tournament berth?
What I like about Coach Olson's team is their ability to score the basketball. They always have a variety of people that can score. They have really balanced scoring. They have the newcomer and Lauren Olson, who I think is a big time candidate for freshman of the year. And then in my mind, the X factor for them is Philippa Barros, who just does everything for this Lancers team. I think she's a very special player. When she's playing well, I think the Lancers are really hard to defend and stop.
Felipe Barros is having an incredible year coming off of an injury. Always great to see that for her. And you look at Abilene Christian and head coach Julie Goodenough. She's been with the program for quite some time. They've always put together a competitive squad. This year, they looked like a front runner and they secure the number 2 seed. So they do earn that bye, a tough last outing. But what are you seeing from that team that has a lot of returners? And of course, Peyton Hull, who's been electric as well.
Absolutely. When you have Peyton Hall, who is just their do everything score for them, I think this group is so talented because of their veteran leadership and how many veterans they've played together. Really unfortunate that they lost Meredith Mays earlier in the season because she had been playing so well for them. But that group has really rallied around and found a way. The other thing I like about Abilene Christian is they also defend. Not only can they score, but they are defending at a really, really high level. They are number 1 in the WAC in scoring defense right now. So when you can score and you can defend, I think that makes a good combination to go and win this title.
You look at Southern Utah, they've been hot all season long. Now they're coming into this tournament on a 3-game skid. How does that impact when you don't have necessarily that momentum going in? You're on a little bit of a downward turn, but this is a team that has put together a ton of sophomores, freshmen, juniors, really the underclassmen have stepped up for this team. Where do you see Southern Utah in this tournament?
I think Southern Utah is such a well-coached team with Tracy Mason. They do have a lot of younger people. So I think their ability this week to bounce back after that 3-game losing skid and get hot here in the WAC tournament, I definitely think they can do that, but I think they're going to have to overcome some of this adversity. What's their mindset entering this tournament? But I do think Tracy Mason and her staff will have this team ready to go. Again, really, really talented, led by their point guard, Sierra Chambers, who's really just the engine for that team. So I expect them to be ready to roll come their game time matchup.
And they have one player, Ashley Banks, who was on that NCAA tournament team in 2022. The crazy shot that got them all the way from Sharita Doherty. We can never forget that. But they have one person there who can share the stories of what it is like to be in the NCAA tournament. But you look at Utah Valley. This is a team that had a core group of seniors returning, which in this day and age isn't the common route for many teams, but they had a core nucleus return and they've struggled up and down. They come in on a 2-game win streak, but haven't really put it together all season long. What do you like about what the Wolverines could bring to the table?
Well, again, speaking to Coach Nielsen, he likes that they're playing their best basketball this season right now. They had an injury to a big time player in Tessa Cheney as well. So they had to figure out, playing without her as well as their second leading scorer and a senior leader for them. But you've got Amanda Barcelo who can really step up, can really shoot the ball. You've got to find her the minute she crosses half court and defend her. So I like their mindset. He feels like they're playing really, really well. Again, coming off of wins over Southern Utah and Utah Tech to end the regular season. So I think Utah Valley is a really, really dangerous team entering this tournament. I'm really looking forward to seeing them compete again, second in the WAC in their field goal percentage that can score the ball at a high rate. And then talk about their defense, the ability to still, they've got multiple players on their starting five that average over 2 steals a game. So you really have to take care of the basketball when you're going up against this Utah Valley team.
We had a great conversation with head coach Bill Brock of Tarleton State. And this is a Texans team where they're hot, they're cold. And Coach Brock had said, hey, look, if you can figure it out, let me know because we've just had struggles with our consistency throughout the year. They're coming in winning their last matchup. They have some key pieces. They got Gia Adams, who came from UT Arlington, has WAC experience, Jacoria Long. They got a big and a freshman that is putting up great minutes and great production. What are you seeing from the Texans? Could they make a run in the tournament?
I think they could. And you can always count on Coach Brock to be right, to be honest with you, right, about where his team stands. And I think he's got a lot of talent that they just trying to figure out which lineups mesh. And if they can figure that out, and they looked good against UT Arlington last week to wind up their regular season, I think they could really be the dark horse here in the tournament. You've got Gia Adams, Jacoria Long, who are just both athletic, dynamic scorers that can also get up and defend on the ball and be dangerous on the defensive end of the floor as well. And then you've got the new freshman, 6'6", Elodie, who can really like be a double machine if she's having a good night, and she is young. So then, you've got Caroline Lyles, who's stepped into their starting lineup, who can really just do a lot, can score, can defend, can bring some energy. So this team, if they can put it all together, they have the pieces to make a deep run and really challenge one of these top seeds. But like Coach Brock said, it's just a matter of, if they could show up and piece it all together.
If you look at UT Arlington and Utah Tech, they've had a tough season. And we spoke with Sharika Wright. She said it's really hard when you rely on a freshman for your team. Kira Reynolds has had a great year, but she's a freshman and she's going to have those freshman moments. And then Utah Tech, unfortunately, the injury bug hit them once again and they've struggled. But these teams, when you come in with nothing to lose, you potentially have everything to gain. And so, what do you think the mindset of these two programs are? Is they're really coming in as that underdog, but can they put something together when it matters most and squeak out a win?
Right. And I think that's the question. For UT Arlington, again, they've had a lot of success in the tournament over the last couple of years, and they have Naya Threed as their leader who's been there and been a part of that success with Avery Brittingham and Coy Love. So can she help this team step up? Again, they're young, and even some of their veterans haven't had as much playing time and as much experience coming in. So they're a young group. Can they get it together? They've lost their last four. So, what is the mindset? But knowing Coach Wright, she's going to have them ready to go. She's going to have them pumped up and have them excited for this tournament run. She does such a great job. And you've got Kira Reynolds. Yes, she is a freshman, but man, she has looked really good this season. She's talented, has such a bright future ahead of her. And all these teams are going to be game planning against her. Now, on the flip side of that, with Utah Tech, again, they've won 3 of their last 5. They've had to, it's heartbreaking to hear Coach talk about all of their injuries and the Warren sisters specifically, and just how their careers have kind of ended. But if I'm anything, I think these players will really rally around that and have come together. They're led by Nay Hartley, who is just a phenomenal point guard engine for them. I think they're playing really, really well. They've got the newcomer and Kiki Borden that can really score the basketball. So, like they had a big win over Southern Utah, the tough loss to Utah Valley the other night, but I think this team is well coached and they can shoot the ball, which is always dangerous in tournament time. So I don't know. All these teams have beat each other up all season long. They all know each other because they've played three, four times. Everybody knows. So it's gonna come down to who can execute and who can defend in tournament time, and it's gonna make for a really fun week in Vegas.
When we were talking on the men's side of the bracket, and Todd Phillips, who took the regular season title and the number one seed, he was nervous about not having to play that first day. But then you look at Jared Olson for California Baptist on the women's side, and he's like, hey, less games, it's always a plus for me. What do you see in that where CBU is going to have to go up against a team who already got a win inside the Orleans arena, already have a feel for the arena? I know the teams have been back, but this is a new year, a new team pretty much. How do you see the Lancers handling that and being able to roll right away?
Right. As a coach, you always want to take the bye, right? You want to advance as far as possible, but there is something to be said for getting a game under your belt on the court in the tournament environment, getting those jitters out. You saw it happen last week in all the Power Four tournaments. There were multiple upsets in the second round. Like three of the four Big 12 teams, I think, that got their buys got upset. And so it's just kind of crazy. You can talk about that a little bit. But Coach Olson's team has been here. They've won at a high level. He knows what it's about. So he's going to have his team in the right mindset to come in and be ready to play. And there's going to be some jitters from especially their young ones, their newcomers. But I think he'll have them ready to play. And yeah, you've got to take the buys as far as it'll take you.
Do I ask you who your pick would be if you had to pick one? Who are you thinking is going to be the team that is going dancing this year?
Oh, Kendra, I don't know. I have so much respect for these coaches and all of these teams in the WAC, and it's such good basketball. I'm just excited to be a part of it. I think for the first time in a couple of years, there's multiple teams. And I know this is going to be a cop out, but there's multiple teams in this tournament this year that can win the WAC tournament, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to be there with you all and see who can take home the crown this year and get that very much coveted ticket to the NCAA tournament.
Well, Brandi, we're excited to have you back in Vegas once again. It's going to be a fantastic week. The action gets underway March 11th. We go all the way to the 14th where we'll crown a champion. You can tune in to those early games on ESPN Plus and then stay tuned for our WAC socials on our championship game. But thank you so much, Brandi. Looking forward to having you in Vegas. Safe travels out here, and we'll get started on
Appreciate it.
Wednesday.
See you all soon.